Hello, this is gonna be a little video doing a walkthrough of one of my ambient songs and what my general process is, stuff like that. If we go to the session view and stop it, just give a little walkthrough. My general mode of operating is that I will write some chords or melodies that I find appealing and then do variations of them. So this is a C chord and a F chord. This is a C chord and some other chord, an inverted B flat, and then I will use the follow actions to just set them going to get a bit of randomization and variation into them. So it's pretty much the case everywhere. If you look at this one, it seems not a lot going on there, but this one is looped at 2 bars in the follow action, and this is looped at 1 and 3. So you just get them constantly shifting and moving about, you know. I think it's quite an easy way to put some depth and movement in. So if we go back to the arrangement view, you can see that we've got 6 tracks, and if we just start going through them one after the other. So I like this one. This is in Collision, and I think it sounds a bit like a tremolo picked post-rock guitar sort of thing. So we've got that going into Valhalla Vintage, quite a big reverb, 10 seconds. We turn that off. Just adds a lot of depth to it, I guess. And then we've got Strange Mod after it, which I really like. It is a Max for Live plugin that's pay what you want. I think shamefully I didn't pay for it. And it's quite similar to the Triple Sloths module in Eurorack. So it gives you 3 interlinked sort of relative modulation sources. So in this one, I've got the exposition of whatever that is going into the gain of this utility, and that is just sort of slowly and chaotically dipping the volume so it fades in and out a little bit. I think it's quite useful, and it saves having to do a lot of automation, you know. Next up, we've got this. This has got more like my traditional MIDI sort of thing going on. So we've got an arpeggiator here that's taking its MIDI feed from the first track. Then it's going into a randomizer, which has got just a very small chance of bumping it up 1 semitone. That then gets quantized into the key, so in this case F major. And then this goes into a note gate, which is another free Max for Live device, and this is currently set to allow 41% of the notes through. So if you put it up to 100, it's going to get a lot busier, which I don't really like or want, so that's why I don't do it. And then it goes into a compression just to sort of even it out and take the highs and lows of my keyboard playing out, because I'm not very good and it's not a very good keyboard I've got, so that's 2 bad things really. This is in OBXD, a free, I believe, Oberheim emulator. I like it. I quite like old synths, especially if they don't cost as much as they really do. This is then going into a free recreation of the Juno chorus, and then it's going into Supermassive, which is some free reverb from Valhalla. So if we turn these off, Not quite as nice, I don't think. Bit better. Go on. I think that's lovely, you know. Sounds quite close to some bad strings, you know. Next up we have this, which sounds like a bass pad. So this is coming through the TAL Juno 60 emulator. I like this a lot. It's got this cool thing where you can make it all wonky to different degrees. So I like that. It might be a tired aesthetic, but I like it. Yeah, nothing majorly strange going on, just a decent bass pad. Then we go into some more reverb. This is having its volume controlled by Strange Mod again, and then we've got a little util at the end to make it, to balance it, because I tend to do automation on the track volume sliders at the end. So this Strange Mod has got three things. It's controlling the gain, which will be on this saturator here that I missed, so sorry about that. It's just on the warm up lows preset, so trying to get a bit more bass out of it. Seems like it's doing something. So if we take both of those off, it's kind of unremarkable, not very present. Sounds a lot more present. It's probably just a bit louder, but what can you do? And stick a load of fucking reverb on it. Job's a good one. 10 seconds, it's a big reverb. Okay, next up, track 4. What is this? This is like just a little twinkly guy, I guess. Quite pleasant. So here we've got something to set the note length, then into a note gate again, then a randomizer, then a quantizer, and then this time we're using operator, but because I don't really understand FM synthesis, this is just very, very basic stuff here. So I'm just using this to get sine waves, really. It's just two little sine waves rubbing against each other. This goes into a fancy delay that I paid for, but I don't use it that often because it's quite complicated, and I prefer the Ableton echo or delay. They're just simpler and better for my tiny brain. But it sounds quite nice. And then it's just going into a Strange Mod again to fucking modulate the volume. So we turn the delay off, it's kind of shit. Delay's doing a lot of lifting there, and it does sound good, I'll give it that. Just a little it's just a bog standard delay. Next up, this is one of my favourite sounds. This is the Bode vibraphone. I think it's got a really nice ghostly, ethereal sort of sound. I really like it. So this, it's not got a great deal going on. Again, maybe this was a bad example to choose, but oh well. It's going into a phaser and then into a big reverb. Again, it's a 10-second one, so that's a lot of reverb. Why would I solo it when there's so much? Why is there such a gap there? It's unfortunate. So again, I think that the effects are doing a lot of the lifting here, because that's kind of annoying, really. This sort of softens it a bit and makes it sound a bit FM-y, I think. And then the reverb just washes it all out. I think that's nice. Yeah. Then finally we've got this number 6 wavetable, and it looks like this is doing chords. So again, I'm not doing a great deal in wavetable, just one oscillator, no sub, not really moving the frequency of the filter. It's just staying there on about a saw wave. Not a great deal going on. The wavetable's scrubbing a little bit. Then I think this is maybe Valhalla Shimmer. Again, this sounds great, but it's very complicated, so generally I just stick to the presets, and they're quite awkward to get to in Ableton because you've got to go through this into there. But then it's Deep Blue Day, which I fucking love, the Apollo album, and that bit is iconic, so why not fucking use it? Yeah, if we take that off, it's gonna sound rubbish, you know. So again, we've got effects doing an awful lot of the lifting here. It's just massive. Completely takes over, really. Then we've got Strange Mod. Oh, Strange Mod is actually controlling the position of oscillator 1. That's why it's moving a bit chaotically. And again, this is changing the volume a little bit. This one quite severely from 15 to 50%, so that's quite a variance. And then another utility just to balance it out, mixing perspective. So if we unmute everything, it's quite a thick, deep song, I guess. Track, piece of music. It sort of feels like ambient music doesn't have words, so how can it be a song? I don't know. I have no internal discipline about what I call them. On the master track, I've just got Isotope Ozone. I just whack this preset on everything, so it's all sort of vaguely consistent when it comes out the end, you know? Yeah, so that's it really. The other thing I do is I use automation. So you can see on each track really, they fade in at different points. I dip them up and down on the way through. In the middle here, stuff sort of drops out, some stuff comes in, and then I fade them all out at different periods. The only thing that's slightly weird is this one, because I'm using a arpeggiator. I think I must have, oh no, I've not. Should have really automated the whole so it turns off after a while, because you don't want it going on forever. That messes up renders sometimes. So yeah, that's about it really. I don't do a lot. I don't think you need to do a lot really. I like the sounds I make. I hope other people do, I guess. But I don't really want it to be complicated, because I like just having, you know, pieces of music you can have on in the background and not particularly pay attention to. Really good for getting to sleep or at work when I need to concentrate, you know. Yeah, so that's about it really. I'll let this play out for a bit, and thanks for watching if anyone manages to get this far.